talked a little bit on Monday, but just how's the mood with the team after this past Saturday's game going into Cornell?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I had a really good week of practice here. The one thing is we had a really tough Monday and Tuesday practice. They were hard and heavy practices, and just kind of getting back to the basics and kind of self-realization of playing to our identity, and then obviously had a really good one today here again. So yeah, we moved past it. We addressed it. We learned from it, and we feel that we're going to be ready for Friday for sure when Cornell comes in here.
One of the things that you guys kind of struggled with a little bit in that first half was getting ready for that first game,
Yeah.
the Friday game. Have you guys talked about that a little bit going into the second half, or how are you getting ready for that?
Well, for sure. And, we've talked about it, but also implementing different things like our practices, over the last week or so here, especially this week, have started with small area games and high compete drills right away without typical shooting drills or warm-up drills. So kind of diving feet first into practices both all 3 days here of what we need to do, and hopefully that correlates with, faster starts on Fridays.
Coach, how much stock goes into that U18 game? Is it a little bit easier to put things behind, to put that one behind you guys when it was an exhibition game and things like that?
Yeah, and again, those are every game is where you want a positive result, or a game where you win a game and have that result at the end, and have a body of work of 60 minutes that gives you that I guess positive feeling or that winning result. But at the end of the day, we didn't do enough to get that, and whether it's having an extended break, whether it's not having some of our key guys in our lineup, whatever it is, there's no built-in excuses. But now, coming into Friday, we're going to be guns a-blazing here with everybody in our lineup, with a couple weeks under our belt right away, and getting back to how we have to play.
Starting that second half of the season, at home, 2-game series, kind of how's it feel to get things back to normal?
Yeah, it's good. Getting into a routine is a big deal. Having early morning practices again here. I don't know about this weekend, but the following weekend of having our students back and getting into school and getting into that routine is a big deal for us too here. So, like I said, it's one of those things where we're amped up on getting the second half ready, and we're putting the USA game behind us and learning from that, and moving forward here with our group.
Lastly for me, kind of how important is it for you guys to start the second half of the season, kind of on a hot start against Cornell?
Well, I think it's very important in the fact that these are our last two non-conference games of our season here before we go into the NCHC gauntlet again here, and again we're playing those games at home, and we want to make sure that we have a positive record in non-conference to uphold our standing in the pairwise. I think we built a good level right now of where we want to be in the pairwise, and we don't want to drop. We want to continue to be at the top, or near the top, or at the top of the pairwise standings when it comes to the end of the year, and that's because these two games mean a lot in that record.
Riley, I know when you think about Cornell, you think about really, really good defensive teams. I don't know if you've watched them yet to this point, but
I have.
This team seems like it's a very offensive team. They're scoring tons of goals. Is that what you've seen when you've watched them? Yeah,
for sure. They have an offensive element to them. They've always been big and heavy, but they're playing with some pace and with some execution right now, and they got some guys that can make some plays. So yeah, absolutely. And I know they went into Arizona State after the break, and I don't think they were as sharp as they probably wanted to be as well. And they dropped a couple games, which gives them more motivation to have a great week of practice and come into our building here. So we know that going on, that they were a better team. They're way better team than they were in playing in Arizona State, and they do have a lot of good offensive players in their group. But they are a big, hard and heavy team that play north. So we play that way as well, and we feel that it's going to be a really good matchup.
You guys had a couple of marquee non-conference series against teams out east with Quinnipiac and Cornell this year. Is that something we should expect to see it again in the future? You guys playing some of these top teams from the east?
Yeah, for sure. We're already 2 or 3 years out on scheduling with non-conference and different things. And what we always try to build in is to have at least an Eastern opponent, whether we go out there or whether they come here. And I know, we go out to Cornell next year to reciprocate on this series coming up this weekend. So, we always build that in for a couple of reasons, like you just talked about, of playing a good, strong teams from the East, but also giving our players that student athlete experience of traveling out east and playing other programs and seeing how it is out there.
So you guys did get last year's game rescheduled?
Yes, we
then?
did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yep. We'll be going out there about this time next year.
Do you anticipate, having Sandy, Jammernick, and Zach back?
All three back. All three will be in the lineup. All three will be ready to go in the lineup.
Coach, when you've got a non-conference opponent this late in the schedule, what kind of challenges does that bring, and does it have any benefits to maybe breaking the mold of the NCHC and just kind of seeing some different ways to play?
No, we play the way we play. We've had success in the first half. Obviously, we make some little minute changes here and there, but the basic way we play, we want to kind of accentuate and grow on what we do of, having that positive result of what we did in the first half. And, we treat the non-conference games, and especially against Cornell, like the NCHC. They're going to be tough, hard, and heavy games. And there's no dipping our toe in the water on these ones. We got to jump both feet in, and because that's what the NCHC is all about. And, like I said before, these are huge games for the pairwise, and the implication at the end of the year on where you shake out.
Hey, Coach, dropping that exhibition matchup, just what positives do you take away from a loss like that?
I think the positive is knowing that, you can't be complacent of what you've done in the first half, and you got to move on and learn from what you didn't do in that game. And I think that's the positive is, hey, we can play better, and we have to learn from it, and we have to move forward here. And, like I said, we didn't do enough in that game to, I guess, pat ourselves on the back about being positive of playing the game that we needed to do. We have to make sure that everybody is going, and we need everybody pulling the rope. And again, we didn't have enough guys in that game doing it.
Playing a team unfamiliar like Cornell that the team hasn't played a lot, how much does that help starting off the second half, just playing a team unfamiliar?
Well, I think it does bring, some freshness as far as making sure that you're ready to go, and you have to, and that's our job as coaches. We want to talk about how we want to play and build on how we want to do things, but I think at the end of the day, that's our job as coaches is prepare our team on how they play. Some of their players, they're impactful players, and what they bring to the table, and again, make sure that our players kind of know them a little bit without overinflating information of their team, because at the end of the day, it's about us and what we want to play, but being respectful to that group and show how our group, how they have to play.